Bernoulli's equation for the real fluid, impulse momentum equation, then energy correction factor for kinetic energy as well as momentum. So let's start. So Bernoulli's equation, in last lecture we have derived Bernoulli's equation from the Euler's equation of motion for the ideal fluid. Now for the real fluid. Sorry, this is for ideal fluid. For ideal fluid, let's consider any fluid flowing system. Let's suppose this is a very simple system. Say this is the section number 1 and say this is the section number 2. Then you calculate the total energy of any fluid at section number 1 and the total energy of the fluid at section number 2. Then both at both the points, say here if we consider as a E1, so total energy E1 and total energy E2, then both are equal according to the Bernoulli's equation. How it is? As you calculate E1 with the three head, which is the kinetic head and datum head is direction. Let's consider how to the three head for a particular. Then the kg it is the pressure head, and by 2g it is the and z. The pressure head by implementing any pressure measuring instrument, say like any manometer, YouTube manometer, or simply a Burden tube type pressure gauge. So by this way, we can get the equation, intensity of pressure, and we can calculate the pressure head at this section 1. The same way for the calculation of the kinetic head, we must require the any type of instrument which is called as a venturimeter or anything else, which gives us the velocity of a particular fluid at a particular section. So by this way we can calculate the velocity here at a v1, and by the calculation of v1 which is by 2g, it is after that z1 is nothing but the height with some reference. Let's suppose if we after measuring pressure, velocity and z, so measure the equation for that of the fluid at the section 2, we can calculate and all this energy, then you get total energy. Total energy remain constant throughout the fluid system. Here you only section. If you consider the element of the fluid, the total energy will remain the same. Yes, but if you later on a section, kinetic energy or the pressure energy may be increased or may be decreased, but this is the same. So this is the okay. Now after considering the fluid Bernoulli's equation for the ideal fluid, let's consider for the real fluid. So when you consider for the real fluid always possesses some viscosity and some pressure losses when it flows in respect to the any type of solid surfaces. Then it have always a friction, and that friction will indicate the loss of the energy. So for the real fluid, it is we have to add some loss of energy here. So this is the sorry friends, let's have pen here. So this is nothing but the HL, which is the energy loss between these two sections. So this is the Bernoulli's equation for the real fluid. Now one important aspect we have to consider when we discuss about the Bernoulli's equation, which is the assumption we have made and derivation of the Euler's equation of motion, and so the Bernoulli's equation. So this is helpful when we apply the Bernoulli's equation for any type of fluid system. The assumption made is the fluid is idle and incompressible, so we have not considered the change in density, and it is considered as idle fluid flow. So we have neglected the friction with some solid boundaries, and it does not have possesses any viscosity, and it is considered as a steady flow and continuous flow. So it is again considered as a steady flow. So there is no variation of any fluid parameter like velocity, acceleration with respect to time. So it is considered as steady flow and continuous. So there is no break or there is no fluctuation of the flow. The flow is along the streamline, so dimensional flow. This is also a consideration. So when you are applying in two-dimensional and three-dimensional flow, we have to consider different things for that. Is equal to the mean velocity. this is again the assumption, and this is the mean velocity that we will be why it is important. We will be discussed in the further discussion. And last assumption is in the fluid has the most among all these three assumptions, because we have we have discussed in the previous session that among the all 5 or 6 forces, we have considered gravity force and pressure force for the sake of simplicity while deriving a Euler's equation of motion. So these all are the assumptions. Now the equation. The equation is a basic tool of solution of the problem. As equation lets the problem cannot be solved. So ultimately we can say not solved by the Bernoulli equation only. Moment is the observation of momentum or momentum principle, which states that the net force acting on the mass of the fluid for the change in flow unit direction. So Newton's law of mass times the acceleration. We get mass d by dt, and by that we get the relation differentiation of mass times velocity with respect to time. But mass times velocity is nothing but the momentum. So here we can say force is nothing but the derivation or the change of momentum with respect to time, and which is also called as a momentum principle. And if we write this equation as a f into dt into change in the momentum, this equation is known as a impulse momentum equation, because this is indicates the impulse, say force times the time, force times the time required to apply the force equal to the change in momentum. So this is the impulse momentum equation, which is widely used in the fluid derivation. Now let's see impulse a little bit more about the impulse momentum equation. The impulse of the force F acting on the fluid mass m in a short interval of the time dt is equal to the change of momentum in the direction of force. This is the technical definition or the technical statement of the impulse momentum equation. Now, application of the impulse momentum equation. First, it is used to determine the resultant force acting on the boundary of the flow passages by a stream of the fluid as the stream changes its direction or magnitude, or sometimes maybe both. So where this type of application, say in the pipe bands and the reducer, in the moving vans, or in the jet propulsion phenomena, because in all these cases the fluid changes its direction or sometimes changes its magnitude also, and in many cases it changes both. So at that time impulse momentum equation is useful for the derivation of the control equation. Then to determine the characteristic of the flow when there is an abrupt change in the flow section. Abrupt change, say suddenly it may be increase or it may be decrease, say sudden enlargement in the pipe or sudden reduction of the pipe or the cross-sectional area reduction, and the hydraulic jump in the channel. So in this all cases the hydraulic momentum equation or simply impulse momentum equation is used for the derivation of the controlling equation. Now let's see energy correction factor. Now energy correction factor, first of all, what is why it is required. Before going on the energy correction factor, we just discuss why it is required. We have seen before a couple of moments that while deriving the Bernoulli's equation, we have made some assumptions. Assumptions like steady flow, uniform flow. Then we have considered only two forces, gravity forces and pressure forces, and all this, in which we have made one assumption also: the velocity is constant throughout the section, which means we had taken the velocity is constant throughout the cross section, and which is nothing but the average velocity. But in many cases, or almost all cases, that is not possible at all, because throughout the section, if we consider this is the circular pipe, then throughout the section the velocity is not constant. Velocity is 0 at the bottom, and the top, say when it is in close contact to the solid boundary, and it is maximum in the center. So here the velocity is maximum, and here it is velocity is 0. So the velocity profile is something like this. This is just a typical for circular pipe. For the other cross section area it may be differ, but we cannot take as a constant velocity throughout the this cross section. So for that we have to consider the energy correction factor. Now let's see what is the energy correction factor. For that we will consider the energy correction factor alpha, which is the correction factor in the kinetic energy, and the beta, which is the correction factor in momentum energy. And how to apply and what is the value of that. First, we will see kinetic energy correction factor. So kinetic energy correction factor is defined as the ratio of kinetic energy flow per second based on the actual velocity across a section to the kinetic energy of the flow per second based on the average velocity. So alpha is nothing but the ratio of the two energies. So it does not have any unit. So it is the ratio of kinetic energy when the kinetic energy considered based on the actual velocity, and another is the kinetic energy based on the average velocity. Average velocity we have considered in most of the average all the cases, but actually it is differ. So let's consider one stream tube in which this is the streamline. Let's consider the cross section area LL, and across this cross section area the velocity profile is like this. So velocity is vary from here to here, and this is the as this is the stream tube. It not necessary it is a solid boundary. So here velocity is not zero. So here velocity is varying as per the parabolic relation, and let's consider the dA very small elemental area. Then for this small elemental area dA, we can consider the velocity is u. Now let's consider the kinetic energy as per the average velocity and as per the actual velocity. So as per the definition, kinetic energy is nothing but the half times the mass into velocity square. So 1/2 mv square, but here v is considered as a average velocity. Average velocity is u bar. So 1/2 m into u bar square. And what is the mass here? Mass is the nothing but the density times volume. So the volume flow rate. Here it is m is nothing, m is m dot. So it is a mass flow rate. Here the volume flow rate. Volume flow rate is q. Q is nothing but the rho times the velocity. Velocity per unit time. So rho into a into u bar, it is the mass times u bar square. So ultimately kinetic energy as per the average velocity is half times density cross section area times the cube of average velocity. So this is the kinetic energy as per the consideration of average velocity. Now let's see kinetic energy as per the actual velocity. So for that we have to consider the integration. It is half times the dm. It is again nothing but the definition of kinetic energy. It is the 1/2 times mass into velocity square. But velocity here we consider the u, which is nothing but the velocity for this small elemental area dA. For the calculation purpose, we have to consider we have to take integration all over the section, say which is the cross section area A. So here 1/2 dm into u square, put the value of m, which is the m into dA into u, say area into velocity times the density into u square. So equal to rho by 2, which is the constant. So we can take out from the integration sign. Then the third power of u times a small area dA. So this is the kinetic energy as per the actual velocity. And as per the definition of alpha, this is the ratio of kinetic energy per unit time based on actual velocity to the kinetic energy per unit time based on average velocity. So after considering these two and removing necessary common parameter, we get the equation of alpha is equal to 1 upon a integration of u divided by velocity divided by average velocity all raised to cube into dA. So this is the equation of alpha. Now let's see what should be the what is the value of alpha. So alpha equal to 1 for the uniform velocity distribution and tends to become greater than 1 as the distribution of velocity becomes less or less uniform. So we can say in laminar flow, in most of the cases laminar flow have a uniform velocity distribution, most of the cases, not every. So in that case, we can say alpha, we can take alpha equal to 1. Say there is no difference in average velocity and the actual velocity, and alpha is greater than 1, say 1.02 to 1.15 for the turbulent flow, in which velocity is very high and it is vary or across the section. And alpha equal to 2 for the laminar flow, because in the laminar flow the velocity which is in contact of surface, solid surface, it is equal to 0, and it is maximum on the surface, sorry, in the center of the pipe. It may be noted that in most of the fluid mechanics computations, alpha is taken as a 1 without introducing much error, since the velocity is a small percentage of an total head. So in most of the practical application, we will consider alpha as a 1. But when you go for any research or development work, then we have to consider alpha. So this is the kinetic energy correction factor. Now let's see momentum energy correction factor. It is defined as the momentum of flow per second based on the actual velocity to the momentum of the flow based on the average velocity. It is denoted as a B. So as per the definition, sorry, beta. Beta is the definition momentum of energy per actual velocity. So as per the definition of momentum of the fluid, it is the mass times the velocity. But when you consider the momentum of fluids based on the average velocity, it is the mass times average velocity. So it is equal to mass equal to density times area into velocity. So it is equal to density into area into u bar square. This is the momentum as per the average velocity. Now let's take momentum as per the actual velocity. So the actual momentum or two momentum across the section LL we have considered previously. So it is the dm into u, say mass times velocity. So mass equal to rho into dA into u. So here d in rho into dA times u square. Now let's derive the equation of beta. Beta is the integration of rho u square into dA divided by rho a into u bar square, and so thus we get the relation of beta like this, and the value of beta is 1 for the uniform flow. It is greater than 1, say 1.01 to 1.07 for the turbulent flow, and for the laminar flow it is 1.33. And the value of beta may be greater for the open channel flow, and in most of the cases beta is taken as 1, as we have discussed earlier. Now let's see the moment of momentum equation. So moment of momentum equation is derived from the momentum principle, which state that resultant torque acting on the rotating fluid is equal to the rate of change of moment of momentum. So let's suppose let's consider the two different sections, and we will see the momentum at the section 1 and momentum at section 2. So the momentum of fluid at section 1, let's suppose any fluidic system, this is section 1 and this is section 2, nothing else. So momentum is mass times the velocity. So mass is equal to rho into q, which is nothing but the discharge, say volume flow rate per unit time, and times the velocity of section 1, it is v1. Then momentum, this momentum per second, which is the rho q v1 times r1. So it is mostly in the cases when the fluid flow is rotating or it has some curvature. Let's suppose this is section 1 and this is the section 2. So at momentum, moment of momentum per second at section 1 is rho q times v1 into r1. R1 is nothing but the radius about which it is rotating. Let's suppose it is the center line, then and it is rotating about this center, then this distance from this center, it is called as a radius. So it is r1, and for the section 2 it is r2 and v2, and all the respective values are that. So momentum of momentum at section 2 is rho q times v2 into r2. So rate of change of momentum per unit time from section 1 and 2, it is the subsection or the difference between these two only. So rho q v2 r2 minus rho q v1 r1, which is nothing but the rho q into v2 r2 minus v1 r1. So sorry, this is the momentum equation. According to the momentum momentum principle. Resultant torque T, it is equal to the rate of change of momentum of moment of momentum. So as we have derived, moment of momentum is RQ times difference of velocity, multiplication of velocity and radius, or radius of curvature we can say. So this is the total torque applied on any particular fluid mechanical fluid system. Above equation is also known as moment of momentum equation, and it is used where it is used to find the torque exerted by the water on sprinkler. In many garden we can see the sprinkler rotating around, rotating on the axis, and spread the water around some circular area. So in that area, this equation is used to calculate the torque and to analyze the flow problem in turbine and centrifugal pumps, because in that turbine and centrifugal pump the fluid is rotating in motion. In turbine also it rotates, in centrifugal pumps it also rotates and have some kinetic energy and some pressure variation also. So in the derivation or the controlling problem or controlling equation, we can see, we have to use the moment of momentum equation. So that is all for today. Now let's summarize what we have seen today. We have started with the application of Bernoulli's equation for the real fluid, and after that impulse momentum equation, then energy correction factor, and we have seen energy correction factor for kinetic energy as well as momentum. And lastly, we have seen the moment of momentum equation and the application of moment of momentum equation. So that is all for today, friends. Thank you.